Life on Gilligan's Island. 7 quirky castaways, stranded in paradise, surviving on coconuts and sheer luck. But tonight, their luck is tested when a troop of fiery tribal women arrives with mischief on their minds and maybe more than coconuts on their agenda. The skipper, a man whose bark is somehow worse than his bite, sized up the situation. Ever the captain, he barked at Gilligan to batten down the hatches, only to realize there were no hatches to batten. Thinking fast, and by fast I mean panicking, he dove headfirst into the lagoon. Gripping his trusty life preserver, he floated there like a marooned walrus, muttering something about his physique being too powerful for pursuit. Ironically, it worked. The confused tribal women left him bobbing alone, too bewildered to bother. Then there was Mr. Howell, a man who tried to bribe a hurricane if it blew in the wrong direction. Ever the financial wizard, he waved his stock certificates around, offering investment tips with promises of diversified riches. It proved less effective in a society with zero interest in capital gains. With a cleverly delivered jab about the problem with liquidity, he scampered just out of reach, leaving them wondering if he'd said something profound or just downright silly. Mrs. Howell, bless her, remained as unflappable as a swan at a stockholders' meeting. When words failed her husband, she relied on something much more potent, her Chanel No. 5. With strategic precision, she sprayed the air liberally, filling it with a scent so overpowering even wild boars might retreat. The tribal women gagged, clawing at their noses as though they'd wandered into a chemical spill. The professor, now here's a man who could theorize his way out of a paper bag, and evidently a ticketastic confrontation. Faking a dramatic gasp, he warned the women of the perils of excessive coconut oil exposure. "Severe dermatitis," he exclaimed with scholarly outrage, tossing in just enough pseudo-medical terminology to confuse and alarm. The word itchy proved particularly effective, sending the women scattering like sand crabs at high tide. As for Ginger, Hollywood's leading lady, she relied on her greatest strength, her vanity, paired with theirs. Drawing all eyes to her, she purred about the importance of a leading lady for their tribe. The women, intrigued, leaned in, only for Ginger to whip out a compact mirror and toss it their way. Mesmerized by their reflections, the women fell head over heels for themselves. Ginger sauntered away unscathed, leaving the scene perfectly choreographed, like the end of a dance number. Sweet Mary Ann, the heart of the group, kept her cool with small-town charm and quick thinking. Armed with her homemade banana cream pie, she offered it as a peace offering. The tribal women, hungry and curious, descended on it like wildcats on a stake, utterly distracted by the treat. Mary Ann, never one to waste time, slipped away while they were mid-bite, proving her pies weren't just a hit with the castaways. And then poor Gilligan. Oh, what can we say about Gilligan? Wide-eyed and nervous, he clutched his hat like it was a suit of armor. When the tribal women surrounded him, demanding he prove his worthiness, he blurted out the only defense his brain could muster, that he still had his milk teeth. The women, naturally skeptical, demanded proof. With no better options, Gilligan flashed his slightly crooked grin, displaying a pair of front teeth that only a mother, or maybe a dentist, could love. They dissolved into laughter, leaving him as confused as he was relieved. And so, the 7 castaways lived to see another day, their wits and quirks, keeping them just ahead of their pursuers. It's not every day you escape peril with perfume, pies, and panicking in a lagoon, but then again, this is Gilligan's Island, where survival favors the ridiculous. Things aren't always cream pie and coconuts. Just when things seem to be at ease, there is something else brewing. Stay tuned for more adventures on Gilligan's Island.